Welcome back. You may remember this gentleman from his many years on QVC. Some may remember him in his old stomping grounds, the Ozarks.
Yeah.
That's right.
Mr. Dan Wheeler. Dan, good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Good to see you here, Joy. Good to see you.
Yes.
This is like coming home for me. I went to Evangel College back in the 70s, and I have two Evangel alumni with me today in the studio. And then I started at Channel 27, an ABC affiliate, KMTC, worked for Ken Meyer. Hi, Ken, if you're around.
Oh, he's out there somewhere. Yeah, and so you did sports over there.
Yes, I did. I had a great time. I was Dandy Dan, the sportscasting man.
Dandy Dan, the sportscast man. I love that. I love that.
And I would assume, you know, since we've been talking a little bit, you've kind of carried these values into life as, you know, you've gone through your career.
I have. I was fortunate. I did all the sports shows for QVC in the 90s during the heyday of sports memorabilia. So I had Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, Ted Williams. Really, I met every childhood hero I ever had at QVC, and they were great to me, and they were wonderful to me through my wife's sickness.
And you were at QVC how long again?
29 years.
29 years is a long time. And then your life took a drastic turn.
It did.
Your wife, Beth, started feeling badly.
Yeah.
She was afraid to go to the doctor at first. I was reading in your book because she was afraid they would tell her you have cancer, and that's what happened.
And I would say, Beth, I've got to get you to the doctor. And she was afraid of that. And of course, when she went, it was the summer of 2012. Actually, it was that fall. They said, this looks like cancer. They biopsied it. The next week, we got the results. It was malignant, and she had stage 4 endometrial cancer. We had the surgery, and you get the call. It was a big hospital. They don't even come and talk to you afterwards. And they said, Dan, I got what I could, unfortunately. And when he said the word unfortunately, it was like a bomb went off inside of my head. Unfortunately, it's spread more than we thought. It's gotten into her abdomen. It's a more aggressive form of cancer. So we went on this 3-year journey of endless chemotherapy treatments, doctor's appointments, surgeries, procedures. But, you know, it was amazing. God was with us through it all. We saw many miracles along the way. And ultimately, God took her home. But I know where she is, and I know I'll see her again. And so that's why I wrote Hurricane of Love. I didn't come up with the title. My niece, the day my wife passed away, wrote in a blog. She said, my Aunt Beth's love was like a hurricane. It hit everyone in its path. And that's the kind of woman she was. She had this enviable quality. The second you met her, you felt like you knew her all your life.
And how many children?
Two daughters and 3 grandchildren now.
3 grandchildren.
Now, we were talking a little bit earlier, and of course, you know, writing this book, it's a sort of a catharsis. And it's also a lesson and a learning you want to share with other people.
Right. I remember days, because I retired from QVC where I was in these big studios and every day was so exciting. And I just started, well, there I am on the air at QVC back when I had a little more hair, playing the guitar. But I would have days where I couldn't write a word. I would just cry and weep, and I relived the whole journey. But it was cathartic, Tom. You're right, because now I feel like the world will know about Beth Wheeler. She was amazing, and even though I've been on TV all my life and radio all my adult life, she was the real star of the Wheeler family.
Well, and you mentioned stars. You've met every celebrity, I think, on the planet. I mean, you just in your regular life there, you are with Willie Nelson, but I know a lot of them came through QVC as well, but you said the biggest superstar in your world, of course, was your wife.
She was indeed. Yeah, Willie, we were on his bus. There's Michael McDonald. I got to launch a lot of musicians' CDs. They would launch them on QVC, and that way, right away, they were in the Billboard Top 100, and it was really just surreal at times. You know, I remember working with Joe DiMaggio and Bob Hope and Charlton Heston, thinking, what am I doing here? I'm just this kid from Michigan. And,
what a career.
You know,
I love this.
Yeah, well, it all started right here in Springfield, so I'm so glad to be back. And when I was at 27, I'll tell you, Channel 10, you guys were like the creme de la creme. You and Channel 3, and I was like, wow, I'd love to be on those stations. And I finally made it.
And here you are.
You're finally a success.
Right.
Now, I have to ask one question, because you know, you're trying to give lessons through this book. What's the greatest lesson you learned from Beth?
The greatest lesson, that's a great question, was to truly live in the moment. We have this little sitting room in our home, and there's no TV in it. There's just a couch and a lazy boy chair and a hutch. And she'd love to have her coffee there in the morning. And so many times I'd be walking through, and she'd pat the couch like this, and so our nickname was Cakeys. She'd say, Cakeys, come sit, have coffee. Regrettably, so many times I said, Beth, I'm too busy. I've got to get into QVC. I've got this big show. Once we got that diagnosis, I always sat. Nothing was more important than having coffee with my wife, and I would give anything to have coffee with her again today. But be present. Be with the ones you love.
Be in the
Tell
moment.
your kids to turn those cell phones off.
Yes.
Now,
Put 'em
you're going to
away.
be doing a book signing.
I am.
Tell them about it.
Tomorrow in Branson, Missouri, at T. Charleston's Books. They're
At
in the Grand Village shops.
On Highway 76.
2800 Highway 76. I'll be there from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. I hope you'll all come out. We'll be, selling copies of the book. I'll be autographing it for you. If you want me to write a whole book in there, I will. Please,
Be careful what you wish for.
Go see Dan tomorrow. Of course, T. Charleston Books, the Grand Village on 76, 11 to 1.
Right.
All right.
Hurricane
Very
of
nice
Love.
to meet you.
Oh,
Dan
it's
Wheeler,
so nice
thank
to meet you. Thank you. What
Great
an
to have
honor.
you on.
Thanks for having me on. Tom, great to
Good
meet
meeting
you,
you, too.
Come
Thank
back
you.
to town more often.
I would love to. I'm going to have to do that.
All right. It is